It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. Got your attention, I guess I should probably mention I got a new album available now on my site. Nigga, fuck all that whining and bitching. You looking for greatness, then I'm the description. Dropping me by like a prison. Twisting your brow like ignition and split, nigga. That's what I call on the vision. I'm finna infiltrate, you cannot imitate. I'm from a pedigree, this is not Triple H. I took a road, you can travel like Triple A. Do the impossible, just like a triple play. Genuine energy, I am not Timberlake. But a nigga too insane. Truck for the money, better pull up in the ring. So I can give a what the fuck about what a nigga think. I'm on some new shit. Elevated my rubric. I'm an industry nuisance. Giving my 2 cents, telling niggas what the truth is. It ain't even about music. Everybody wanna know the cheat code. Bitch, I got bops on reload. I was just on live 2 hours straight. Ain't play not one repeat song. I'm ready for the spotlight. I was on the block like a stoplight. Every day I catch lightning in the bottle. The niggas told lies by the night, hitting spots twice. Couple years I was living on fried rice. Like a treat when I got to eat Popeyes. Gotta feed them, get your whole top 5. Spit heat on top like a rabbi. It's Nolan. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there this evening. In this video, we got to follow up on the whole Megan Thee Stallion versus Milagro situation. Of course, we know Megan Thee Stallion has already won in court versus Milagro Gramz, right? She got her defamation reinstated. Milagro owes $75,000. And as of the latest update, she's been trying to get the judge in their case to stay the judgment so that she doesn't have to pay. Okay? She says that she's awaiting appeal and she's trying to get the judge to hold off on enforcing the payment until after she figures out what's going to happen with the appeal. Last video we did, Megan Thee Stallion submitted a motion pleading to the judge to say, fuck that, I want my bread, right? And if she can't produce my bread, then she's going to need to take out a supersedious bond, which means she's going to have to put up a certain percentage of the money that's owed through a company that will assure that Megan, regardless of what happens with the appeal, is going to get her money, right? So now we have a new filing from Milagro Gramz where she's trying to plead with the judge to see her side of the story and to say, hey, I cannot pay. I have a financial hardship. I'm waiting on this appeal. There's things in the lawsuit or things in the judgment that I'm also going to be trying to counter. So please bear with me and give me a chance. I've got the paperwork. Let's go ahead and read it. So as you can see, this was filed yesterday, made available today. So this is defendant. Of course, Milagro's the defendant. Her reply is support of motion to stay enforcement of amended final judgment pending appeal. She says, and remember, she's representing herself. She's pro se. She does not have legal aid at this current time. So everything is written in first person, which I don't think is how these things are supposed to be done, but we'll just continue. So it says, I respectfully submit this reply in further support of my motion to stay enforcement of the amended final judgment pending appeal. Plaintiff's opposition attempts to portray my request as an effort to avoid accountability. That is not what this motion is. I'm not asking this court to erase the judgment. I'm not asking this court to ignore the jury's verdict. I am asking for a stay pending appeal because I am pursuing appellate review in good faith. I do not have the financial ability to post a full supersedious bond, and immediately enforcement would create severe hardship while my appeal is still pending. She says, 1, I have now submitted a sworn declaration regarding my financial circumstances. So we'll get to that, but she has this piece here. She says, plaintiff repeatedly argues that my motion did not include sworn financial evidence. In response, I have submitted a declaration under penalty of perjury explaining my financial circumstances. I am self-employed. My income fluctuates from month to month and is based on subscriptions, audience support, platform monetization, and related content revenue. I don't mean to be insensitive here, but I don't understand how your self-employment is important to the courts or to Megan Thee Stallion. Um, when if your entrepreneurial ventures are not bringing you enough money, there are applications. Again, I swear I'm not trying to be funny. This is a woman who said that she has a criminal justice degree and that she went to college and did all of these things to further her education. There should be other profitable ventures out there for you if social media and content is not doing it. That's just the real. But we'll go further. She says, I do not own a home. I do not have substantial assets. I do not have liquid funds available to post a full supersedeas bond. I support my household and 2 minor children. I also have ongoing litigation and appeal related expenses, as if the judge is supposed to care. My financial hardship is not a new development created for purposes of this motion. It has been a recurring issue throughout this litigation and is reflected in the record. That part we do know because she was having trouble paying her legal aid, right? And at a certain point, Unite the People dropped her after the legal aid was not properly paid. She said that she wasn't given the proper info. She thought Unite the People was going to take care of it, and then they no longer had unity. Then, of course, homeboy from Unite the People was alerted by some stands. It's very interesting how the stands work both ways. That she was talking greasy about him on Twitter and in some spaces and different areas. He was baffled. So then he left her out to dry. Okay. So she says, during the course of this litigation, I lost multiple attorneys and at various stages relied upon legal assistance provided without compensation. It was also established during these proceedings that I lost one of my primary sources of income, my contract with Stationhead. Now, I do believe she lost her contract with Stationhead in 2023 or 24. Not sure how it's relevant 2 years, 3 years later, but here it is in front of us. The loss of that income significantly impacted my ability to support my household and my 2 minor children and contributed to the financial hardship from which I am still attempting to recover. These circumstances demonstrate that my inability to obtain a full supersedeas bond is not a strategic choice or an effort to delay enforcement, but the result of genuine and long-standing financial limitations. Plaintiff argues that my inability to pay proves why a bond is necessary, but that argument ignores the practical reality of my situation. A full bond requirement would not preserve the status quo. It would effectively deny the meaningful appellate review because I do not have the resources to obtain such a bond while also maintaining my household and pursuing the appeal. He says, this is not a case where a wealthy judgment debtor is hiding assets or refusing to secure a judgment. I am a self-employed individual with fluctuating income, no substantial property, and family obligations. I'm asking the court to consider those facts instead of treating me as if I am a corporation or a party with access to unlimited resources. To protect sensitive personal and financial information relating to myself and my minor children, I have not publicly filed detailed financial records at this time. However, if the court believes additional documentation is necessary, I am prepared to provide supporting financial records under appropriate protections, including filing under seal or with redactions as directed by the court. I find it very interesting that we get all the way through here. We got to see all the payments from Cash App Star, Zelle Star. We got to see all the payments from goddamn WhatsApp Star. We got to see the deal she lost and the amount with Stationhead. She was allegedly making in upwards of $10,000 per month off of Twitch, which is not a small feat on Twitch. It's not easy to make $10K a month off Twitch. Allegedly, she says. But now she's fucked up in a bad way and doesn't want to put her financial records out there. She wants them to be sealed. Okay? She says, my request for a stay is made in good faith. Plaintiff argues that I have not met the requirements for a stay and that enforcement of the judgment should proceed immediately. Respectfully, I disagree. My request is made in good faith and is based upon genuine financial hardship, my inability to obtain a full supersedeas bond, and the substantial issues I intend to present on appeal. I am not seeking to avoid the judgment, nor am I asking this court to disregard the jury's verdict. I am exercising my right to appellate review and seeking temporary relief while that review proceeds. My financial difficulties existed long before the filing of the present motion and have been evident throughout this litigation. Perhaps that's why she accepted those payments from Cash App Star. They are not newly asserted for purposes of this motion, nor are they offered as an excuse to evade responsibility. Rather, they are a part of the reality the court should consider when determining whether a stay or alternative security is appropriate. Interestingly enough, her name was also on the list in that document that I read yesterday of alleged parties receiving payment for the social media conspiracy. It was her other page, Mobbish, that I'm also blocked on. Plaintiff argues that I failed to show a likelihood of success in appeal. I respectfully disagree. At minimum, my appeal raises serious legal questions that warrant preserving the status quo. This case involves speech, commentary, public figures, public controversy, trial reporting, opinion, intent, and the limits of liability for online commentary. These are not minor issues. Defamation. I intend to challenge the defamation ruling and the reinstatement of the defamation verdict. Good luck with that if it got reinstated. My position has always been that my commentary was based on my own observations, my review of the public record, media reports, social media discussion, and my personal attendance in court. I was not acting as someone secretly directed by the Peterson family, although they have transcripts that say otherwise. I was not paid by them to attack plaintiff. I was not commissioned to harass plaintiff. I was covering this case and discussing issues I believed were important long before I had any contact with Tory Lanez or members of his family. However, they also have transcripts of Milagro specifically asking a group of Tory Lanez stans or fans or paid online representatives, however you want to say it, where they were looking for bounties of negative information to put out there about Megan, and she offered different subjects. Is this what you're looking for? Is this what you mean? Is this what it is? People followed my reporting because I was asking questions about inconsistencies, contradictions, media coverage, public statements, and the criminal case. I formed opinions based on what I saw, what I heard, what was reported, and what occurred in court. I respectfully maintain that statements about credibility, inconsistencies, and whether a public figure's account should be believed are protected opinion and commentary, especially in the context of a public controversy. B, actual malice and intent. Plaintiff repeatedly frames my conduct as malicious. I dispute that characterization. I'm sure actual malice was found in court. She says, I did not act with actual malice. I did not knowingly publish false statements. You did. I did not set out to destroy plaintiff. I gave commentary and opinions based on the information available to me at the time. The appeal raises serious issues about whether the evidence was sufficient to establish the required state of mind, especially where the speech involved commentary on a highly public criminal case and public figures. We get to the deepfake issue. She says plaintiff again references the deepfake video in highly inflammatory terms. It was a highly inflammatory video. It was a highly inflammatory action that you took where you told people to go check it out in your likes. But she says the context matters. My position is that I did not create the video, which the judge has already stated, and the jury don't give a fuck about. I did not know it was fake when I first became aware of it, but you said it had to be. I learned about it while live, expressed skepticism, and questioned what it was. I also expressed that I do not like AI-generated sexual content and that if it was AI, plaintiff should take legal action. And it was, and she did. Therefore, what do you mean? She says the material was removed within a timely manner. That is not evidence of malicious intent. It is evidence that the situation unfolded in real time and that I did not knowingly or intentionally promote fake sexual material as true. At minimum, The issue presents a serious appellate question regarding intent, context, and whether the evidence supports the conclusions reached. D. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. The appeal also raises serious issues regarding the intentional infliction of emotional distress claim. Florida law sets a very high standard for IIED. Harsh commentary, criticism, public disagreement, and speech that hurts someone's feelings do not automatically meet that standard. This case involved commentary about a public controversy involving public figures, media narratives, criminal proceedings, and matters of public concern. I respectfully dispute that my commentary meets the extreme and outrageous standard required under Florida law. She says plaintiff, as in Megan Thee Stallion, will not be unfairly prejudiced by a state. Plaintiff argues that she is entitled to collect immediately. I understand that she has a judgment, but the purpose of a stay pending appeal is to preserve the status quo while appellate review is ongoing. If immediate enforcement begins, I face significant hardship. I am self-employed. Here we go. My income fluctuates. I support my household and I have 2 minor children. I do not have a salary, home equity, or substantial assets to absorb enforcement efforts. By contrast, a temporary stay would not erase plaintiff's judgment. It would only pause enforcement while the appeal proceeds. If the court requires security, I respectfully request reduced or alternative security. If the court determines that some form of security is required, I respectfully request that the court consider a reduced bond or alternative security instead of requiring a full supersedious bond that I cannot obtain. A full bond would impose an impossible burden. I ask the court to consider alternatives that are realistic given my financial circumstances, including a reduced bond, periodic statements, reporting requirements, or any other condition the court deems appropriate. Conclusion: this case is not over. I have appealed, and I believe the appeal raises serious legal issues regarding speech, opinion, actual malice, intent, the reinstatement of the defamation verdict, and the sufficiency of the evidence supporting the judgment. I'm not asking for special treatment. I'm asking for a fair opportunity to pursue appellate review without being financially crushed before that review occurs. For these reasons, I respectfully request that the court grant my motion to stay enforcement of the amended final judgment pending appeal. Alternatively, if the court requires security, I respectfully request that the court impose reduced or alternative security based on my sworn financial circumstances. And let me get out of here. And here we have a declaration from Milagro where she basically just reiterates all of the same things that were stated in the previous document, but this is her actual affidavit of declaration talking about her financial situation, her household, and how she would be affected if Megan's enforcement is approved. Okay? Only problem with this whole situation is that just a few months ago, Milagro came out on Station Head, no less, I believe it was, where she literally admitted to playing the role of a poor person during the trial. You don't think that these transcripts will make their way to the judge at any point, like the rest of them have? Let's just play this for a refresher, shall we?
And then, not only that, I had to play the part of a po nigga. You got people on this motherfucking internet calling me broke when the average American makes $50,000. When you supposed to make 3 times your motherfucking rent in the month to stay at certain places and rent damn near $3,000. Y'all found out that I had a contract with Station Head. So how much I made a year at least? You tell me. But I still had to play the part of the ghetto ass, broke ass hoe because I'm up here against a multi-million-dollar motherfucking company. And you got the motherfucking internet sitting up saying, yeah, bitch, you broke. Bitch, who? Since when is a bitch with her personality who is able to take care of her family, who was, because you know I lost that contract, who was making 6 figures, how the fuck is that a broke hoe? How? And I'm just sitting up there listening to the people play these clips while I sound like a ghetto ass bitch. And I'm like, man, fuck. I ain't never felt more like a nigga than when I went through that trial. Ever in my life. Ever in my life. Because you have to go, like, fight for your life to some people that's looking at you like, yeah, nigga. Especially up against somebody more, seemingly more polished. That, you know, they're presenting like this and like that. You have a worldwide, like, known celebrity. And then you coming in there and they telling everybody you ain't shit, you this, you that. And I'm just sitting up there listening to the people play these clips while I sound.
Just had to go ahead and play that. That was back on, what date was this? April 5th, 2026. She said she had to play the role of a po nigga in court and act like she was this financially burdened, fucked up, struggling to survive. Interesting, because the paperwork says you're still that person. So which one is it? Are you financially in a rough spot? Or are you claiming poor mouth for the courts, which would be a level of fraud? I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question. Shout out to Justin Hunt, the company man. But y'all let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. This is your first time seeing me on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become an insider. I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Niggas is playing a tricky game out here. See y'all in a minute. Peace. Yeah, family over fame in this bitch, yeah. The glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'm never politicking, the drama be piling on. Father and greats unacknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5 sit bank accounts, every day I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I could do this shit in my sleep. I been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I been fighting these niggas if you speak on the street. I'll turn your birthday party into New Year's Eve. Don't let me take it there. We ain't playing fair. This the ATL, Southside nigga moving furniture like Wayfair. Life on hold, no insurance for your healthcare. Lifeline gone, so you wanna be a millionaire? Well, let me tell you about this world I built. The women I dodged, the niggas that I ran for filth. The sympathy calls, consulting for the stacks I built.